In both the United States and Russia, according to Akhmetshin, Trump Jr. asked follow-up questions about how the alleged payments could be tied specifically to the Clinton campaign, but Veselnitskaya indicated that she could not trace the money once it entered the United States. Kavaladze similarly recalled that Trump Jr. asked what they have on Clinton, and Kushner became aggravated and asked, quote, "What are we doing here?" End quote. Akhmetshin then spoke about U.S. sanctions imposed under the Magnitsky Act and Russia's response prohibiting U.S. adoption of Russian children. Several participants recalled that Trump Jr. commented that Trump is a private citizen and there was nothing they could do at that time. Trump Jr. also said that they could revisit the issue if and when they were in government. Notes that Manafort took on his phone reflect the general flow of the conversation, although not all of its details. At some point in the meeting, Kushner sent an iMessage to Manafort stating, quote, "waste of time," end quote, followed immediately by two separate emails to assistants at Kushner companies with requests that they call him to give him an excuse to leave. Samachornov recalled that Kushner departed the meeting before it concluded. Veselnitskaya recalled the same when interviewed by the press in July 2017. Veselnitskaya's press interviews and written statements to Congress differ materially from other accounts. In a July 2017 press interview, Veselnitskaya claimed that she has no connection to the Russian government and had not referred to any derogatory information concerning the Clinton campaign when she met with Trump campaign officials. Veselnitskaya's November 2017 written submission to the Senate Judiciary Committee stated that the purpose of the June 9th meeting was not to connect with the Trump campaign, but rather to have, quote, "a private meeting with Donald Trump Jr., a friend of my good acquaintance's son, on the matter of assisting me or my colleagues in informing the Congress members as to the criminal nature of manipulation and interference with the legislative activities of the U.S. Congress." End quote. In other words, Veselnitskaya claimed her focus was on Congress and not the campaign. No witness, however, recalled any reference to Congress during the meeting. Veselnitskaya also maintained that she attended the meeting as a lawyer of Denis Katsev, the previously mentioned owner of Prevezon Holdings, but she did not, quote, "introduce herself in this capacity," end quote. In a July 2017 television interview, Trump Jr. stated that while he had no way to gauge the reliability, credibility, or accuracy of what Goldstone had stated was the purpose of the meeting, if, quote, "someone has information on our opponent, maybe this is something. I should hear them out," end quote. Trump Jr. further stated in his September 2017 congressional testimony that he thought he should, quote, "listen to what Rob and his colleagues had to say," end quote. Depending on what, if any, information was provided, Trump Jr. stated he could then, quote, "consult with counsel to make an informed decision as to whether to give it any further consideration," end quote. After the June 9th meeting concluded, Goldstone apologized to Trump Jr. According to Goldstone, he told Trump Jr. and told Emin Agalarov in a phone call that the meeting was about adoption. Aras Agalarov asked Kavaladze to report in after the meeting, but before Kavaladze could call, Aras Agalarov called him. With Veselnitskaya next to him, Kavaladze reported that the meeting had gone well, but he later told Aras Agalarov that the meeting about the Magnitsky Act had been a waste of time because it was not with lawyers and they were, quote, "preaching to the wrong crowd," end quote. C. Post-June 9th events. Veselnitskaya and Aras Agalarov made at least two unsuccessful attempts after the election to meet with Trump representatives to convey similar information about Browder and the Magnitsky Act. On November 23, 2016, Kavaladze emailed Goldstone about setting up another meeting with T people and sent a document bearing allegations similar to those conveyed on June 9th. Kavaladze followed up with Goldstone, stating that, quote, Mr. A, end quote, which Goldstone understood to mean Aras Agalarov, called to ask about the meeting. Goldstone emailed the document to Rona Graf, saying that, quote, Aras Agalarov has asked me to pass on this document in the hope it can be passed on to the appropriate team. If needed, a lawyer representing the case is.